To get the maximum enjoyment out of your Swimtreck holiday, it's important to train beforehand. And your local pool is a great start. Whether training is done indoors or out, being able to swim at a sustained pace is what you should be aiming for. There are some differences when it comes to swimming in open water, and in this chapter, our guides will give you a few tips so you're well prepared for your trip. We'll look at breathing in different weather conditions, body position, maximising efficiency, anaerobic versus aerobic sessions, how to sight in open water, leg position and effective kicking, body roll and its importance, greasing up, keeping abrasions at bay, acclimatizing to colder conditions, and the benefits of cross-training.
The traditional way of breathing is bilateral breathing, where you're breathing every 3 strokes. That allows you to even up the workload on both sides of your body. However, in open water swimming, an important aspect is rough weather conditions, where the water can be coming in from one side only. Therefore, it's also useful to be able to train to breathe to both sides like bilateral, but actually just keep breathing on one side until the rough weather is over. Therefore, if the wind's coming in from the right, it's a good idea to be able to breathe only to the left and vice versa. And that's the main difference between pool swimming and open water swimming when it comes to breathing.
It's very important to maintain good body position in the water for maximum efficiency. You want to be as streamlined and flat as you possibly can, rather than letting your feet drag and therefore reducing your efficiency.
A good preparation for ocean water swimming is to be able to do some anaerobic and aerobic sessions in the pool. The anaerobic sessions are essentially sprint sessions, and then the aerobic are longer distance sessions, and between the two of them they will give you adequate preparation for ocean swimming.
During your winter training for your Swimtreck swim, there'll be plenty of lengths up and down the indoor swimming pool where there are lanes and lines on the bottom for you to follow. In open water, first thing that will strike you is that you're not going to swim straight. There are no lines on the bottom to follow. You're going to have to learn to sight and to spot the target on a distant horizon and swim for that target. So looking up every 10, perhaps 20 strokes will be vital and an integral part of your stroke, and it must be incorporated into any long distance swim.
A lot of people will be pleased to hear that it's not fantastic to kick your legs an awful lot when open water swimming. Kicking them a lot uses a lot of energy. It's much better just to use your arms to propel you along and flutter kick with your legs to keep them at the surface of the water.
Body roll in open water swimming is very important for 3 main reasons. The first reason is the fact that you use your much bigger back muscles to propel you through the water. Therefore, this gives you a much greater endurance capability than compared if you just use your shoulder muscles, which you would if you weren't body rolling. Second reason is to roll above the chop, therefore you can breathe above the chop. And the third reason is it actually gives you a much better slipstream position in the water.
It's not only channel swimmers who use Vaseline in preparation for ocean swimming. The important thing to do is to make sure that you're well prepared, because the seawater itself can cause considerable abrasions and friction burns. So we prepare our guests by making sure the Vaseline on the shoulders, for women on the strap lines and the costume, under the arms, and likewise on the back of the neck. And for men, we put it on the beard, anywhere there's some potential friction.
A lot of the Swimtreck swims are in nice, clean, clear, tropical water where it's nice and warm and you won't need to acclimatise for the cold conditions. Some of the British Isles swims can be challenging for their cold water, so you should think about how you're going to cope with the cold water. A lot of swimmers, in months preceding their swim, go and find local lidos or safe places to swim to acclimatise themselves to cold water. So they might perhaps go a month before to an open air lido, jump in and see how they cope with the cold water, and perhaps go once a week and try and lengthen their swim never pushing themselves too far to endanger themselves.
We can't always swim all the time for training. It does get mentally boring. Therefore, it's also important to do other activities also to stay fit, and that is where cross-training comes in. Other activities can be running, cycling, and weight work as well. So a combination of these is an excellent way to stay in shape for your open water swimming trip.